Good afternoon, Civitans, and our guests today. Also to the people who will be watching this on our internet feed for the candidate forum for the North Carolina Legislature. We are honored today to have guests, all of the candidates for the House districts. What we're going to do is we're going to start with 2-minute introductions, and I think what we can do is we'll start by rotating afterwards with questions, and we'll give 60 seconds on the first question to be answered, and we'll see if that's enough time. We can add to it in subsequent questions. Senator Clark, would you like to begin with an introduction? Speaker is Representative Susan Fisher from also House District 114.
Good afternoon, Civitan. I am Susan Fisher. I'm running for my 4th term in the North Carolina House, representing District 114, which is a portion of Buncombe County that encompasses the West Asheville, all the way to Barnardsville, actually all the way to Sandy Mush, and North Asheville, Montford, all the way to Barnardsville. It's quite an interesting and diverse swath of Buncombe County, and I think I'm actually pretty fond of it. I am a native of Asheville. I'm probably a 5th or 6th generation native of Buncombe County. My parents grew up here. My husband's parents grew up here, and I'm proud to represent the folks in District 114. I have a very fond connection with Asheville Civitan in that you all were my stalwart volunteers and still are, I think, to a certain degree, with Kids Voting Buncombe County. I was the director of Kids Voting, the nonprofit here in Asheville that teaches civic responsibility to our young people K through 12. I left that job because it is a nonpartisan organization. I left that job to be appointed to the seat vacated by now Senator Martin Nesbitt. And I guess what I want to leave you with is that we have a very serious economic problem in North Carolina today, but it's not one that I think is insurmountable. And you have very good leadership in the West. Senator Martin Nesbitt is now Majority Leader Martin Nesbitt, and it's been decades since the West has seen leadership and a build of solid representation over time that we have at this present time. So I would urge you to think about the leadership that you have in place, and I look forward to your questions, and I ask for your support. Thank you very much.
I'm going to start with a question because I think the testimony of this club, the importance of education, is absolutely crucial, is why we give out $21,000 in scholarships to high school graduating, or student graduating from each of our 7 public high schools in Buncombe County. So I think that speaks to our commitment to public education. My question is, and you each touched on education and jobs, but how do you plan to maintain continuous improvement for our public schools, community colleges, and our world-class university system?
Education has always been a priority of mine, and I believe that investing in education is one of the most important things that we can do to bolster our economic viability in the future. Schools need resources, schools need teachers, and in fact in this last session we were able to save over 1,000 teachers across the state from unemployment. I was very proud to be a part of that. I serve as Vice Chair of the Education Committee in the House, and I am Chair of the Education Subcommittee on Preschool, Elementary, and Secondary Education. And I have worked and will continue to work to ensure that the schools have all the resources they need. The other thing that I believe in is very important is increasing the graduation rate in this state. We have, I was appointed to the Speaker of the House's commission on reducing the dropout rate, increasing graduation rate. We've put quite a bit of resources into programs that are effective programs that have been replicated from one school system to the next to be able to keep the dropout rate low. And I look forward to continuing with that work. Thank you.
The question would be, obviously the economy is just incredibly important. The recession that began in 2007, everyone has seemed to say that it's the deepest recession since the Great Depression. I believe that North Carolina lost 20% of its revenue, partly by losing the headquarters for Wachovia Bank, going back to California for Wells Fargo. A lot of high-paying jobs, a lot of other things that were paying in revenue into the state's budget to pay for education, to pay for economic development. The question following on that, as we come out of the recession, what is the proper role of government and what should we be doing to bring in more business to our state?
Well, first of all, I think that we need to revive the middle class in America. And we don't need to have just any jobs in North Carolina. We need sustainable living wage jobs. We need clean jobs. We need to support small business in this region because they're the people who are going to pull us out of this recession. Recently, I visited a solar energy company that started with 8 employees in a little tiny house. And now they are a $16 million a year business employing more than 60 people. I think that what we have to concentrate on is clean, sustainable business in order to make this economy go again. But we also have to attract science and technology type businesses to this area. I think that one thing that we can afford to do that we haven't done enough of in the past is celebrate the work in science and technology at the university level. We can bring more of that kind of business to North Carolina as well and to the West. But again, I really stress that small business is what is going to save us and save this economy in the future. Thank you.
But I'm going to go ahead and give you each 90 seconds for a closing remark. I'm going to begin with Susan and go this way and then come back this way so that we...
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for your attention and for your good questions. I look at this time that we're in North Carolina as a correction. I've been saying this out on the campaign trail a lot. We were in a time of, I think, spending too much on things that really didn't mean anything, and that now we're kind of settling in to see what we can do to make a long-term sustainable state. What I want to leave you with is that nothing happens overnight in terms of correcting. I think of it as a ship. It takes more than just a day to turn a ship around. It takes a long time. And the ship of state is no different. I think that one thing that we have to look at in terms of jobs are our local farms, for example. We've been seeing more happen at our local tailgate markets because of the work of local farmers and farm preservation. I think that what we need to do is go back to our roots, go back to what is meaningful, and make this work. We have a majority leader in the Senate now. We have leadership in the House right now that has clout, that's going to make people realize that North Carolina goes further than Statesville. It goes all the way to Buncombe County and beyond, and I hope to be there for you. Thank you.
And thank you to the candidates. We thank you for being here. We especially are proud because our pledge as Civitans is to vote in every election. All of our principles are based on civic involvement and support for our country and our principles. We thank you because without you and your service in all the forms that you've mentioned, this state would not be as great as it is. And that goes for the generations of people who've come before us and for all the work that this club has done and we hope to do in the future. So we ask anyone who's watching this to come join us on Tuesdays at noon at Trinity Episcopal Church. Our membership is open. We look forward to having new members, and we would look forward to you coming and visiting with us. This will be on the internet, and you're welcome to, we'll send you a link to it, and you're welcome to share it.